Well, good morning, everybody. Hey, I wanted to show you my friend here. This is Howie. That last video I posted, he wants to get away. It's okay. Let's see. Say hi. The last video I posted was about Howie and some things in there, and this week I'm going to talk about him again, but he's restless, so I'm going to let him down, and we'll have some talks about that. Say bye. Well, good morning, everybody. I'm back. The little previous first section there is of my dog, Howie. I've talked about him, and so now you finally get to meet him. So he's a cute guy. He didn't like being in front of the camera. I guess he's a little camera shy. That's okay, not a problem. I brought him up on the screen for a reason, though. Last time in the last video, I talk about Howie and how he's blind, how he's deaf, and how he just goes out. That was a pun. How he goes out, and sorry, and he goes outside and he does what he has to do. And when he steps off the step, that there's really a faith there that as he steps off the step, that the concrete is going to be there to hold him up so he can go out back or go downstairs or whatever. It's just really he's a special guy, I have to admit. Well, I had him on there because just 2 days ago, I guess it was now, we're eating dinner. I look down and I see the other two dogs, Angel and Simon. I don't see Howie anywhere. So I get up and I go looking for him because he's been caught behind doors and stuff, and being blind, he can't get out. So what I ended up doing is looking around the house with the family, and we couldn't find him anywhere. Looked out back, just couldn't find him anywhere. Somebody had come over. We had opened up the front door. I think he got out at that point. Even though I was there and I didn't see him, he didn't stumble downstairs or anything. So began the search for Mr. Howie, the dog. It was not a fun search. The whole family was outside. We just had about 10 or 12 inches of snow outside, so snowdrifts all over the place. The girls were out with flashlights. I was out. My wife was out. And we were searching all over the place for Howie. And after a couple of hours searching in the car, walking half of Akron on foot, I gave up. I gave up, knowing in my heart that I would never see Howie alive again. I might find him, but he's old, he's 13, he has cancer, he can't see. I figure he'd be either hit by a car or he'd freeze to death during the night. Well, I broke down. Howie means a lot to me. He's definitely family. I know a lot of you with pets and animals can fully understand that. Those of you who don't probably just think the rest of us are kind of crazy, which is fine with me. So I gave up, and I wasn't very happy. And then all of a sudden, I said, no, I can't do this. I got back up again, and I put my snow pants back on, and I went back outside. I continued walking streets. It was getting foggy. It was dark, obviously, by this point as well. When we first started searching, even I was, during dinner time, and I just kept looking for him. My wife called the local police and asked them if they got any dogs reported. Akron's not a huge town. They said no, but they'd keep their eye open. So I'm driving around town again in my Jeep, trying to figure out where is this dog at, and I'm just, I can't give up on him. That was my thought. I can't give up on him. Even if I find him dead, I will find him. So basically, what happened? Long story short, which has already been long, we got a call from the sheriff department saying that they had found a dog like on the other side of town, or they had reports of a dog running around. So I went over there and I didn't see anything. I went back home. Right after that, my wife Cindy calls me and said they have a dog. You need to go down and see if it's Howie. So I went down, and lo and behold, there's a suburban vehicle there with a lady and her son in the car, I think, and the police were there, and there was Howie in the lady's arms. He had crossed Highway 34, which is, it's the main thoroughfare through Akron. Again, not a huge town, but blind dog, deaf dog, not a dog who's used to stuff. Just so I got Howie and picked him up, from the woman, and I just held him. I just held my dog, and he had big old ice chunks on his feet and in his hair, and just shivering, simply shivering from the cold. So I got him home, and we bundled him up. We loved on him. We fed him, and he went to sleep. And he had a good night's rest, I think. And he's still hanging in there right now today. And this was a couple of days ago. I just couldn't help but think about what Howie was going through during this time. Like I said, he's blind and with cataract. So when he goes out in the snow, always everything's white to him. Everything. When I just have him out in my own backyard and he's going to do his things, he keeps bumping into the snow. And I can't imagine what was going through his head as he was wandering, bumping into thing after thing after thing. I imagine it had to be pretty scary for him to just go through all of that. And from my perspective, I was going through a lot of emotions. I was going through loss. I was going through desperation, anger, frustration, sadness, sorrow, you name it. It was going through my head. And I wasn't comforted a whole lot during this process. I just knew I had to keep going out and not giving up on finding my dog. Now, I was lucky. Howie was really lucky, and he came through, and we found him. But, a lot of us are lost. We get lost in our lives. We get lost every single day, whether we are Christian, not Christian, whatever. We find that we just maybe hit a day or a time where we just don't know what's going on. What end is up? How am I going to make it through this day? Emotions just come crashing down all around us. And this is our Advent season. This is when we're preparing ourselves for the birth of Jesus. Just in a few short days. What is today? The 18th here, right? So we have like 6 days till Christmas Eve, and then 7 days till Christmas Day here. So it's exciting, and it's a time of presents and Christmas trees, and joy, and we Christmas caroling and looking forward to the candlelight Christmas Eve services. I wasn't feeling any of that when I lost my dog. I truly was not. I have to be honest here. I wasn't happy and joyful. And I realize how many of us are right there this time of year. We've lost people that we care about. We're just having some tough times. And it's hard. And it's hard. And we really try to figure out, well, what is there in life? Why do we have to keep our joy and our love and our whatever up, right? Why do we have to be happy? What do we have to be happy for? Well, when I was searching for Howie, well, later, I wasn't thinking it then, but I couldn't help but think about God in my life and Jesus in my life, and how, like, Howie got lost, and at one point I'd given up. I was like, he's gone, I'm never going to see him again. And then I jumped back up and says, no, I have to go out. I was going to stay out all night long if that's what it took to find my dog. I owed it to him because I love him so much. And I just had this feeling that I needed to talk to you today because of that. Because we get lost, right? We get just so far removed from where we're supposed to be in life and what we're supposed to be doing, and what do? We struggle and we try to find our way back. But this God that I worship and this Jesus that I love so much, it comes after me. When I get lost, when I start banging my head on the wall and going from snowdrift to snowdrift and just wandering, right? Wandering, where am I at? Where am I going? I have no idea. Jesus keeps after me. He doesn't give up on me. He keeps after me until he grabs a hold of me again and he can hold me close again and say, I've got you. You're fine. Pat, 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 right? I've got you. You're not lost anymore. That was the joy that I felt when I found Howie again. This is a human person finding his dog. And can you imagine the joy that Christ has when he is able to find you again? I mean, that's why he came to earth, is to be with us and to help us, through these difficult times. And when he comes to us, we need to cling to him, and I cling to him, and that's where I get my hope and my faith from. Knowing that when I do get lost and I wander and I go so far astray, that Christ doesn't stop looking for me. He's after me. He's pursuing me actively, and he's grabbing me on the shoulder and saying, "Hey, Phil, you need to come back this way. I've got you. I've got you. Let me just hold you and let me help you." Like Howie allowed me to help him. So God is there to help us. And this Christmas season, you can believe in miracles or coincidences or whatever, but Howie's back with me. He's back with our family, and I'm so thankful for that. But this is just an amazing time, that through that sorrow and that grief, that there was a little bit of joy. And I know right now you might not have that joy, and it might not come this Christmas. But just remember that there is a God who loves all of us so much that he gave his one and only Son, who was born on Christmas morning, that little baby, who would eventually end up on that cross on that hill in Calvary, who eventually gives his life for us, for you, for me, so that we will have salvation, so we will know love in our lives. God will never, ever give up on you. He will pursue you and never let you go. So this Christmas season, try to keep this in mind. Even though we might have some tough times, we have a God who loves us more than we can possibly ever imagine. Well, I will be posting a Christmas Eve message on Christmas Eve day sometime. So if you can't make it to church, I encourage you to maybe just listen to it and just feel the love of God and the love of Christ this Christmas season. So a very Merry Christmas to all of you. You take care now. Bye-bye.